Hello, amazing learners. Welcome again to another wonderful episode of our biology lesson. In our word of biology this week, we'll be looking at the topic types of fruits. Types of fruits. Just as you can see, different fruits here that develop from different flowers with different structures. So we'll be looking at their different types and reason why they are classified into these different groups. So let's look at our learning objective. At the end of this week lesson, you should be able to classify fruits into various types. You should also be able to identify at least 5 examples of each of the classes of the fruits that are being classified. 5 examples at least. Now, what are fruits? Fruits are structures that develop from the fertilized ovary of a flower. And these structures, they are classified into different groups depending on their origin and structure. So because of that, we have fruits that we call true fruits, and we have fruit that we call false fruits. This is a common way of classifying fruit. So if we classify fruit commonly, we get these two types. Then what are true fruits and what are false fruits? True fruits are fruit that are formed from fertilized ovary. They are formed from fertilized ovary of the flower, where the ovules will get transformed into seeds. The ovules will get transformed into seed, while the fruits are formed from the ovary. Ovary is being transformed into fruits, and ovules transformed into seed. In this type of fruits, we will see the presence of pericarp, complete pericarp, where the complete layers of the pericarp, which includes the mesocarp, endocarp, and the epicarp, they are completely expressed. Example of such fruit, we have mango, we have orange, we have carpe. These are the ones we call true fruits. Now, we have also false fruits. They are the ones that develop from other floral parts, other than the ovary. So these ones, they don't actually develop from the ovary. Rather, they develop from other floral parts of the flower. Now, some of these fruits can integrate the ovary in their formation, but they cannot solely or independently form from the ovary. They must integrate other floral parts. We have examples of such fruits as apple, pineapple, we have banana. These are examples of fruit that we call false fruits. Okay, now let's proceed and see classification of fruits in other different ways, where we see simple fruits, aggregate fruits, and we have multiple fruits. If we look at simple fruit, we see that simple fruit is further classified into dry fruits, fleshy or succulent fruits, indehiscent fruits, and dehiscent fruits. So we'll be looking at all these classes, of fruit today. We'll be making an in-depth study on the reason why they are placed on these different levels. Now, when we talk about the simple fruit, what are they? Simple fruit, they only develop from a single ovary of a single flower. Okay, look at an ovary here. We have an ovary here, and this is a flower. So this fruit develops from just a single ovary of a single flower. That's why we call it a simple fruit, because it develops from a flower with a single ovary. So we say that the ovary may be monocarpous. It can also be syncarpous. Or have such example of such fruit in a carpe. A carpe's ovary is monocarpous. Even maize too is monocarpous. Why that? If you go to okra, tomato, pawpaw, they are syncarpous. So all these fruit that I mentioned now, all of them fall in on simple fruits. So if we generally mention simple fruit, we see example of cowpea, maize, okra, tomato, and the pawpaw. These are all simple fruits. Now, if we come to aggregate fruit, what's the difference? Aggregate fruit is the type of fruit that develops from a single flower. Look at single flower, but it has several ovaries. Look at one ovary here, look at another ovary here, look at another one, look at another one. So it's a fruit that is formed from several several ovaries from a single flower. We have example of such flower like such fruits like cola. We have cola, we have strawberry, we have custard apple. These are example of fruit that we call aggregate fruits. Now we have another one we call multiple fruits or composite. Either we call it multiple fruits or we call it composite fruit. No, these fruits, they have several flowers. Look at, we have one flower here, we have another flower here, we have another flower here, we have another one here, we have another flower here, we also have another one here. So we have a fruit that is developed from several flowers. It's several flowers, we call it inflorescence. So each of these flowers has its own ovary. So you remember here we have one flower having several ovaries. Here we have one flower, one ovary. In simple, we have one flower, one ovary. In aggregate, we have one flower, several ovaries. Here we have several flowers with their ovaries. Example of a multiple fruit or composite fruit, we have pineapple fruit, we have fig fruit, we have breadfruit. These are fruit that we call the composite or multiple fruit. Now let's proceed with simple fruits. Simple fruits can also be divided into fleshy fruits or dry fruits. When we talk about fleshy fruits, we call them also succulent. As I have said earlier, we call them succulent fruits. They are fruit that has high moisture content. That brings about their fleshy nature. We have examples of such fruits such as apples, cherries, grapes, strawberries, tomatoes, cucumbers. These are all fleshy fruits. While when we talk about dry fruits, they have low moisture. That makes them dry. Walnut, corns, wheat, kernels, dandelion, parakeets. These are all examples. Just as you can see here, you can see that these fruit, they are fleshy. Orange, they are fleshy. But look at this. Look at these peas. They are not fleshy. They are not fleshy. That's why we call them dry fruits, because they are not fleshy. You can even see some further examples of dry fruits. When you move into, if you look at fruits like maize, tridax fruit, cashew fruit, these are all classified as dry fruits. They are all classified as dry fruits. Why, if you come into these fleshy fruits, apart from all these examples, you know that mangoes, they are classified as drupe. They are classified as drupe. Why, if we look at coconut, oil palm, cherry, all of them form inside this drupe. We have the ones that are also called berry, that are classified as berry, where you will see tomato, you see orange, you see guava. These are the ones we call berry. We call them berry. If you move from berry, we have the ones we call hesperendum, the hesperendum group of the fresh fruits. These are the ones fruit like orange and lemon. We can as well call them hesperendum. Hesperendum. Apart from hosperendum, we have fruit that we generally call pome. Pome. So the pome, they are fruits that has a skin and fleshy. They are mostly edible. Some of them are their edible part and fleshy part are derived from the receptacle and not just from the seed or not just from the enclosing of the seed. They are also derived from the receptacle as well from the ovary. We have apples and pear in this poem. Okay, we have other fruit types that we call something like sorosis. The sorosis. Sorosis. They are also under fleshy fruit. Sorosis is where you see pineapple, breadfruits. We classify them. We include them under these sorosis. We have another group that we call syconium. Syconium. Syconium is where you will see fruit like fig, the fig fruit. That's where you will see syconium. This syconium, when we talk about this syconium, syconium is classified as a first fruit commonly. If we look at it, syconium is classified as a first fruit. Even when you look at a psoriasis, the psoriasis group, they are also classified as a first fruit. The same thing with that of a pomi. They are also first fruit. But the only thing here is that we call them simple first fruits. We call them simple first fruits. Now let's look at another way of classifying fruit, dehiscent and indehiscent fruit. Now here we classify fruit based on their ability to split or release seeds. When the fruit matures, based on its ability, whether their pericarp can be able to split to release their seed when they are ripe or not. So here, because of that, we classify fruit, dry dehiscent fruits, and the dry indehiscent fruit and dry dehiscent fruits. So when we talk about dry indehiscent fruits, we are looking at fruits that they cannot split to release their seed when they are ripe. They don't have the ability. Dry indehiscent fruits, they are fruits that don't have the ability to release their fruit when they are ripe. We have example of such fruit like the ackern, that is one-seeded fruit. That's where you see sunflower. You see sunflower here. You also see the calibium. Calibium, apart from the calibium, you also see other fruits like caryopsis. You see capsule, caryopsis. Under caryopsis, you can see fruit like maize under caryopsis. Well, if you look at them, their pericarp is fused with testa. Their pericarp is fused with testa. Even some other grasses are formed in this group. If you look at Cypsela is where you see an inferior ovary, where it is one-seeded flower, forming a hairy paracote. If you have seen a tridus fruit before, if you have seen a tridus plant and a tridus fruit, those are the ones that we can see under Cypsela. So we even pappus. Pappus is another seed that is formed under this Cypsela. Okay, we also have nuts. Nuts are also one-seeded. They are also one-seeded. Apart from being one-seeded, their pericarp is always hard and tough. Because of the hard nature of their pericarp, they are unable to split to release their their seed. Cashew nut is there. It's a typical example. Okay, we have another one we call samara. If we look at samara, if we look at nutlet, if you look at utrico, these are all indehiscent fruit types. If we samara pericarp extend to form one or two wings. That's where if you look at obeche, African rosewood, combetrum, these are all found under tamara. We call them dry indehiscent fruit. They can't split to release their seed when they are ripe. Okay, now when we look at the dry dehiscent fruits, if we look at dry dehiscent fruit, we'll see fruit that has the ability to split and release their seed when they are ripe. For example of such seed, we have legumes. Legumes, we also either we call them legumes or we call them pod. Either we call them legume or we call them pod. When they are ripe, they dehisce longitudinally. Longitudinally, if they dehisce longitudinally at both sides to release their seed. We have even follicles. If we look at the follicles, whenever they are ripe, they split and they will dehisce longitudinally the same way as that of legumes. But their own happens only on one side. It happens on one side. Legumes will dehisce this way and this way, but in follicles, they will dehisce only on one side. We have Sodom apple as an example of follicle. Okay, now we have the ones we call the capsule. Under the capsule, capsule are normally formed from a syncarpous flower, which means that since they are syncarpous, they have many seeds. Syncarpous and many seeds. We have castor oil as an example of there. We also have cotton. We have poppy. So we also have other ones that we call schizocarp that we can generally aligned as schizocarp. Now, under schizocarp, we have fruits that can split into several units. If they split into several units, each of these units contains a seed. Each of the units contains a seed. Example of such plant is desmodium. We have cassia. We have cedar. These are different examples of plant that you can see under schizocarp. Now, having known all these fruits and their different types, try to understand possibly when we talk about the common ways of classifying fruits. When we say that the common ways of classifying fruit, that we classify them as true or false fruits. And when we talk about true fruits, that we can see true fruit or false fruit in each of these categories. True fruit can be under indehiscent. False fruit can also be under indehiscent. It's just for you to be able to identify the nature of the formation of the fruit. Was it formed from the ovary or from other floral parts? Is the fruit dry? Is it fleshy or succulent? Is this a simple fruit? Is it an aggregate fruit? Is it a multiple fruit? When you have been able to ascertain all these points, you will be able to excel very well whenever you meet issues or questions on fruit. Now, in our next week lesson, we'll be making more further inquiries on dispersal of fruits. Till then, thank you very much for listening.